The midway point, and what a way to start it with Baylor men's basketball coach, national championship head coach Scott Drew with us on 365 Sports. Thank you, with Paul Craig and David Smoke. What have you done better besides score more points than your opponent to get this three-game winning streak going?
Well, I think it started with our transition defense is really improved. And that's one, just a greater sense of urgency, effort. Two, not turning the ball over and taking as many bad shots, which lead to runouts. And then three, just a scouting report, knowing who we got to find in transition. Then from there, if you can guard in the first 10 seconds, you give yourself a chance the rest of the way. Our defense still has to get better. It's improving, but not where it needs to be to do what we want to do. Our offense, I can tell you, if we could bottle it up and have the same performance that we had against Tech every night, I would sleep really well most nights.
Yeah, you could sell that well, that bottling factory of what you guys were shooting the way the other night. The other thing I've noticed in these last three games is your three guards have figured out when to ride the hot hand really well, which, obviously when you got three scorers, it takes time, but it seems like that chemistry is really starting to blossom.
I think we've had Adam out, LJ out, both of them out, and the fact that we've had a healthy team now for a couple weeks where you're able to practice together and play together definitely helps. I mean, coaches understand the importance of that. You can't just it's like anybody. I mean, if you have an audition, you have a concert, you don't just show up and play. You rehearse and you practice. And with guys being out in a league where your margin of error is a one-possession game, that really hurts. So we've been blessed on the injury front where we've been able to practice, get rhythm, get routine, improve, get better, and that's led to better play on the court.
Scott, how have you seen Keyonte George continue to grow and evolve as the season has gone along?
Hey, Keontae's made great strides for a freshman. I mean, it starts with the defensive end. He knows a lot more where he needs to be, when he needs to be there. His stance and his attention to detail and his intensity is much better. At the same time, his rebounding has improved, his shot selection and his ability to get to the free throw line and attack the rims improved. So he's made great strides. His communication on defense has really improved. Can he get better? Yeah, absolutely. In what areas? Every area, because he's 18. He's going against 22, 23, and 24-year-olds. So each and every day, it's a race to see how good you can be by the end of the year.
What have you seen from him? You obviously recruited him. You got the commitment from him. He signed with you. You've seen him play in all sorts of different ways, and now you've seen him here at Baylor. What has he done perhaps this first nearly half of the season that maybe you didn't realize?
Well, I tell you, it sounds like such a small thing, but Quincy Miller is probably the best freshman we ever had at being vocal on the defensive end. And we understand the importance of being vocal on the defensive end because it's all about being connected, and it's not just you guarding your man, it's you being able to help the others and in the proper spacing and positioning so that we're not in disadvantaged basketball. And if you can communicate where you're at, it lets everyone else know where they can be and where they can go and where they can direct people. So Quincy Miller, every NBA scout came in, man, unbelievable. First talent they loved about him was his vocal energy and his talk on defense. And Keyonte, from someone who really did not talk when he first started to now, I've never had a player improve that part that quick, and that's a tribute to him.
Josh Ojenewuna has really started to look confident when you've played the last few weeks. It's tough for any freshman, Scott, like you said, but he's starting to look like he is acquiring some veteran sensibilities out there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot for any freshman to transition, but especially coming from overseas. I remember the first couple games he played in. He's like, I've never played in front of a crowd like this. And just playing with that energy, excitement, and then the intensity that in which the game's played. And again, it's harder for freshmen the last couple of years than it's ever been because no freshman in the history have had to play against as many 5th and 6th-year guys as they do now.
Coach, I know the messaging and the consistency is a big part of not getting too high, too low, but 0-3 as opposed to 3-0 in this stretch. Is anything really different at all? Do you feel like the messaging changes after winning 3 versus having lost 3 in a row?
Well, I can tell you I'm sleeping better. That's for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm sure some of the players are as well. I think the confidence, the swag you get from winning, that's infectious. And then your desire to want to keep that and not go back to that other feeling keeps you on point and keeps you motivated. And the fact that we've been healthy, we've been able to practice hard and get better in practice has really helped. I think close losses give you a feeling and something in your gut you just don't want to go back to. And hopefully it's like burning your hand on a stove for the next couple of weeks. You're really cautious around that stove. So hopefully we can continue to improve, evolve, and at the end of the day, in this league, you can play well and lose, as we all know.
Right.
So really, it's controlling what we can control and making the most of it. And if you're in a one-possession game, anything can happen. The goal is to be good enough that you're not in that.
I was able to get you off to the side after the Kansas State post game and that emotional night, K-State, Coach Tango, whatever. And I asked you about Adam Flagler because he's tried to be a guy that has kept this team together when things weren't going right. How much has that helped, knowing that he's not afraid to maybe, hey, let's have a talk amongst ourselves as players?
I think Adam's really grown as a leader and really done a great job. I know Flo, John have helped with that. I know the other upperclassmen and support them because the leader has to have support. But the fact that Adam's a really kind person and would rather compliment and would rather is more a pleaser. And sometimes you got to be confrontational as a leader and hold people accountable. And I think he's gotten better and better with that and done that more because he saw our team needed that more. And because of that, it's really been beneficial. Our best teams are always player-led teams, and people say, well, isn't the coach's job to lead? Well, I can tell you it's like a teacher in a classroom. All right, if the leader's in the class, they demand that people pay attention to the teacher. Peers care about peers a lot more than they care about the coaches or adults. So the fact that if you get a player-led program, they're taking care of all the business, meaning on time, paying attention, buying in, and that makes it really easy to coach. And Adam's done a great job with that, as Flo and John have helped too.
On the road at Norman tomorrow against Porter Moser and the Sooners, they're 2
Saturday.
Oh, it's not Friday? Okay.
No. It's okay.
Hey, you sound like me now. You wake up and you're like, are we playing today? I mean, the days just go together, you know? Hey, my wife, national championship game. I said, what do we got for dinner? She goes, we're watching the game. I said, what game? She goes, national championship game. I go, oh man. Like when you're locked in, you are locked in. You know?
That I'll credit to that. Yes, I'm living like you, Coach. But
I love that.
Yeah. Again, you said there's no gimmies in the league, and Oklahoma started out 2-4. But again, there's nobody who's bad. So what have you seen from them over the last couple weeks as they adjusted and wind their way through the conference too?
Just like everybody else, a basket here, they win at Kansas. They're 3-3. A basket here, they're 4-2. They're an NCAA tournament team net wise. They got players who can score. They got players that can defend. And at the end of the day, I think we're the only team to win on the road in the last 12 or 13 games. So it's hard to win on the road. So it's a team that last year beat us in the Big 12 tournament, and they have a lot of players on that team back. And it's a hard team to guard with the Grove brothers that can stretch you. And I mean, Tanner Groves, he's somebody that gave us fits last year. And then his brother, Jacob Groves, really evolved. And now he's shooting 40% from three and really hurt us in the conference tournament. So definitely got to be on point. Got to make sure that we keep taking care of the ball. I don't know if we can get 16 assists, 3 turnovers every game, but if we can, then there's going to be a lot of people wanting to know why and how we're able to do that. That's amazing.
Because of the attrition and the grind of the Big 12 Conference, you have to have depth, and obviously, you're working on that. But is it also that time of the year where you start to maybe get your rotation tight, or is that too early to go from whether you're 8, 9, or 10?
Well, we've actually kind of gone from 9 to 8, and with that, there's going to be games where you're playing 9 based on foul trouble, injury. You need a spark and whatnot, but normally as the season goes on, the rotation shrinks, and that's ours is at 8 right now. And some games it'll be 9, some games it'll be 8, and hopefully we don't have injuries, and then that way we can keep building on this chemistry we have right now.
I know that it's an everyday deal, but speaking of everyday. What is and what do you see from Jonathan Tchamwa right now, and just the inspiration of what he's done, and the possibility we might see him at all down the road?
Well, first and foremost, he's an amazing individual. Every day you see how hard he works, how much he rehabs, how much he's in the gym, and it's inspiring and motivating. And for what he's able to partake in, it motivates and uplifts everybody. He is able to practice some, and that makes us better when he does, because he is a great player and he's so physical, intense. It makes you match that, which is really good. And at the same time, when he comes back, I mean, it's going to be a great platform, and God's really blessed him, and he's going to be able to share that.
Look, Scott, I think I speak for pretty much everybody when I said, look, John looks great in the polo. It looks really good, but we all can't wait to see him wearing the jersey again.
Yeah.
We all second that. I wish I looked that good in the polo, but you're right. We need him in a jersey.
Scott, thank you as always. We appreciate it when you drop on with us. Good luck in Norman this weekend, and obviously that game on Monday, but that doesn't matter because you have a game on Saturday.
Absolutely, and thank you for the fans that as you know, protecting home court is so important, and we'll continue to get better to give you more to cheer for. But got to protect the home court, and thank you for helping us against Oklahoma State.
Well, you should have that kind of fan support. I thought the crowd against Oklahoma State, of course, K-State. I thought the crowd against Oklahoma State was electric. The lights went out,
yeah.
But I thought they were locked in, and they did a great job.
100%. So that it takes a team to win, and I think that energy and electricity blew a couple fuses in the city, and I like that. Hopefully we get more of that.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Scott Drew, Baylor men's basketball coach, 3-0.